Hello guys, welcome to this newest review from Digital Omelette. Today I'll be reviewing the latest Mark Lawrence book called One Word Kill. This is a departure from Mark Lawrence's usual genre, which is fantasy, into the realms of science fiction. Before I get further into the review, let me just give a brief overview of how this book is and what the story is about. We have this 15-year-old boy genius, Nick Hayes, who discovers he has cancer and is about to die. He discovers a stranger who keeps appearing and keeps giving him information. Along with his Dungeons and Dragons playing gang of friends, he tries to prevent something from happening in the future. The story is basically this. Let me get into what I thought about the storyline itself. I think it is another disappointing entry from Mark Lawrence, and that has been the case ever since he wrote the Prince of Thorns trilogy and the Liar's Key trilogy. It has not been good going for him with the Sisters trilogy either. I think One Word Kill is a disappointingly average science fiction book. The only reason that I actually read it was because it was written by Mark Lawrence. So it is going to sell. If it were written by any other author who is not as well known, I think the reviews would be far more critical. The problems are multifold. The first one is the blurb that I just mentioned gives away most of the story. The book is a bit small. It relies on a couple of twists to make the story interesting. These twists are pretty easy to predict. If you have read a lot of science fiction before, especially classic science fiction stories like By His Bootstraps or A.E. Van Vogel's The Weapon Shops or any other 50s, 60s science fiction story that is oriented around time travel. If you have not read any of these books and you are new to this kind of thinking, then you might find the twists surprising. But on the other hand, movies like Terminator have taken this concept of time travel, and what they have done with it is definitely more interesting than what happens with One Word Kill. The bigger issue is not just that the story is predictable, is that is all that the story seems to offer. Well, that and a lot of 80s pop culture references, which quite a number of books are doing nowadays. I think they are trying to evoke nostalgia to sell the book. It was fine with Ready Player One because there was something else in that book other than the 80s references, but in One Word Kill, it just feels out of place. Now, anybody who has any kind of exposure to Dungeons or Dragons, or who has played any role-playing games in the last 20 years, would know that One Word Kill is not actually the right name. It is Power Word Kill. Even if you don't know much of Dungeons and Dragons, the moment you read the book, you will understand what the context is. I don't understand why Mark Lawrence had to go and change the name from Power Word Kill to One Word Kill. I read somewhere that the publishers forced him to do it. Now, it just feels like yet another compromise in the book that is full of compromises. I didn't feel much when I was reading the book. When I was reading Prince of Thorns or I was reading Liar's Key, I was never aware of the fact that I was reading a book. I was so engrossed in it. You know the feeling I'm talking about. But when I was reading One Word Kill, I always knew I was reading a book and I had to force myself to continue to read. And I think that is where Mark Lawrence has probably lost the plot. These books are just not as interesting or as engrossing as his earlier trilogies are. I guess my opinion is going to be quite unpopular because when I look at Goodreads reviews, mine seems to be one of the very few 3-star reviews, or maybe the only 3-star review for this book, but it is what it is. If you have nothing else to do, if you have nothing else to read, or if you're a Mark Lawrence fan, yeah, maybe you can pick this book up, and maybe it gets better as the sequels come out. But for me, I am done with this, and I wish I can get the time back. Thank you. Bye-bye.